Greetings, welcome to Lyons Township High School's open house, virtual open house. First ever, last ever, hopefully. My name is Frank Alletto and I am your student's English teacher. This is the Zoom for English 3 Prep American Literature. And I really appreciate you taking the time to look into this course and see what your student is engaged in during the day. And hopefully this covers a lot of questions that you may have had. Obviously, I am available whenever by email. I'm always here hiding from my children, so glad to banter with you. Again, this is English 3 American Literature. It's a semester course, so students second semester go to a writing course called Written Composition. You can sort of take a peek at the week and see what a typical week looks like. The way that I try to entertain the students, to try to break up the learning, give them little breaks and so on and so forth. So, but first about me, I was born in LaGrange and I live in Western Springs. So obviously I'm quite the world traveler. And not at all. That's me, my senior year English. I graduated, my mullet and I graduated from LT in 1992. We both made it out on the first try. Although looking at that picture now, I don't think my mullet made it out. That was taken toward the end of the year, and it looks like we broke up. My mullet and I ended it, I guess, at that point. So who knows where it is now, but wherever it is, may it rest in peace. I got a bachelor's degree in English and secondary education, Benedictine University, although at the time it was Illinois Benedictine College. Again, showing that I'm quite the world traveler. And then while teaching, I got my master's in American Lit at Roosevelt University, which I also teach at. North Campus room 117 was my senior year classroom. I'll go back to that picture. So that was me in North Campus room 117, Glenn Brown. That was the year I decided to become a teacher in that classroom. North Campus room 117 is my classroom. I was intellectually born in that room, and that is where I teach. And I started there in 1996. I've been in other rooms, but I started teaching at LT in 96. But I do teach English and writing at Roosevelt University, and I taught at Columbia College for 10 years. That's a good thing because I can legitimately tell the kids, I know what freshman year college writing looks like as well. And here's my secret. It's not really a secret, but I am half musician, half magician. But I've been doing magic for millennia, it feels like. But I also have been in bands and play guitar. That first picture on the left is me playing my baccalaureate my senior year on the Reber stage. The one underneath is on the Reber stage. I think that was like in 2008 at Brownstock. That is my band picture. My brother and I were in a band for about 10 years, looking like NSYNC there. It's pretty horrifying. But what's great about this, of course, is that I can interrupt the learning during and have a break where I do a quick trick or play a song, and it's one of the ways that I hope to kind of bridge this remote gap and make it feel like we have a classroom community. It's a lot like probably the same course I took as a junior, teaching short fiction, teaching poetry, obviously fiction, novels, plays. I bring short films into it because I teach a film course, the visual word. We obviously write traditionally literary analysis, right? Where you're writing about a book interpretation. They write expository, they write persuasive, just like always. But because I teach creative writing also, I include creative writing assignments. We do personal writing, they do journaling, and then creative assignments where they're emulating an author, emulating a poet, but they're writing creatively. They'll write as a character. We'll have a Great Gatsby diary where they become one of the characters, a way for their writing voice to evolve. We're reading The Great Gatsby, Death of a Salesman, House on Mango Street, and the things they carried, as I said, in addition to short stories, poems, and short films. Right now, we're just starting House on Mango Street, which is very accessible and very poetic. Students, we just started it. They're going to be emulating Sandra Cisneros' style and writing in the same way. And hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun for them to do this because they're going to be writing about themselves. Grading practices, I'm sure you've heard this from other teachers, but Our homework, our practice work is all 0%. Reading assignments, the written responses, like I said, journals. We have practice quizzes. They'll obviously do a lot of answering of questions. They'll be writing their own questions. And we do a lot of peer review. These are all things that are risk-free, and so they hopefully do risk being creative and extending beyond what they've normally done when they write. And then the summative assessments are the large quizzes to see if they're reading, make sure they're reading. And then, of course, the final drafts of papers or projects, which they can revise. And if something's gone wrong and they want to revise, they absolutely can. We have a one-on-one session through Zoom during class, and they go back and work on the practices. I say in the classroom, you won't get back what you put in the classroom. You'll get more. You're guaranteed a profit if you invest. And in the virtual realm here, that means doing the readings, that means discussing, that means having their screen on and participating in breakout rooms, small rooms, but offering up their own work when I might say, can anyone share something that they've written? Can anybody talk a little bit about the section of the book? If they invest, as I'm sure you know, what you put in, you get out and then some. Unfortunately, it works the other way, where if you don't invest, if you plant nothing, there will be no yield. And so I remind them, ROI, invest. Zoom is not only the big 25, 28 people, but the breakout rooms, which I'm sure you've probably heard of, but we can have small group rooms. And then the teacher gets to pop in with the kids as well in those groups. So while other students are reading, I can meet with your student, talk about their paper idea, for example. In class, just like in a traditional on-site classroom, there's time for them to read and write, time for them to get some of their work done. I think starting work in class engages them to continue that work. We have all kinds of tools that we're using, experimenting with. One is Camtasia, or is it Camtasia? I've used it, I can't pronounce it, but it's a tool to record actual lessons. So on my iPad, I actually annotate texts on my screen, and it records it. So I just posted one of those today, actually annotated part of Mango Street, and hopefully they're watching it right now. It's a great way for me to send them, a tutorial essentially, and they can see how I engage with the text, which I want them to do. I always want them to be reading with a pen in their hand or a quill, as it were. By now, Canvas is sort of our platform for assigning work, and there are discussion boards on Canvas. There are Canvases where they submit their work. It's where they see their work. It's where they begin their Zooms as well. I want to give you a sense of what a typical week was. Obviously, we meet 3 days a week. And the first session is a Monday, and it's a 35-minute meeting. And usually it's me modeling something, an idea that we're working on, or beginning to look at a text in a new way. I call it Model Monday because, modeling something, some exercise, some technique that we'll be doing for the rest of the week. So then the next 2 meetings we have, which are the 75-minute sessions, they're a combination of all kinds of activities, a full class discussion, small groups and breakout rooms. And like I said, give time for reading, give time for writing, show short films as well, have students share their work. So if you'll indulge me for a dose of poetry, this is my favorite one to give them. An anagram is, you take a word and you mix up the letters, you can get different words from them. It says, if you believe in the magic of language, then Elvis really lives. And Princess Diana foretold, I end as cars spin. If you believe the letters themselves contain a power within them, then you understand what makes outside tedious, that sometimes desperation becomes a rope ends it. The circular logic that allows senator to become treason and treason to become atoners. That 11 plus 2 is 12 plus 1. And an admirer is also married. That if you could just rearrange things the right way, you'd find your true life, the right path, the answer to your questions. You'd understand how the Titanic turns into that ice tin. and debit card becomes bad credit. How listen is the same as silent, and not one letter separates stained from sainted. Following this poem, I'll tell them one of my favorite quotes, which is, life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. Can we be metaphorical anagrams? Can we just rearrange the letters we have and create a different reality for ourselves? I really, really appreciate you guys coming in. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, f.alletto@d204.lths.net. I haven't sent it yet. I will be sending an open house question form in it, and just ask questions about your student, about his or her interests, activities, which classes they tend to look forward to, how they feel about writing, what kind of movies they like. These are things that I can use to leverage my time with them, because we only have one semester. And I, of course, want so much for your student to succeed. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to visit. And like I said, if you have any questions, please email me and let me know. And I hope to meet you soon. So thank you so much.